All right, we're moving on to number 4. I have it written down. No variables are isolated and no variables have a coefficient of 1, so I'm going to use combination elimination here. I could eliminate my x. Oh, everything's lined up, by the way. X's, y's, equal signs, and constants. I could probably manage to cancel out my x's without too much trouble. I could also manage to cancel out my y's but without too much trouble. I think I'm going to cancel my y's. So if I want to do that, what do I have to do is make this negative 6y so that it cancels out with positive 6y. And in order to do that, I need to multiply this by negative 2. Well, if I'm going to multiply this by negative 2, I'm going to multiply every stinking term in the entire equation by negative 2. So I'm going to go ahead and bring down my first equation because I'm not going to change it at all. And then negative times a negative is positive 12x. Negative times a positive is negative 6y. And a negative times a negative is a positive 24. When I combine these, my y's completely cancel out because they're total opposites. I have 6 extra x's here, and this is 30. Divide by 6. X is 5. There's half my solution. I want to know y, so I'm going to plug this into either equation. I'll just plug it into the first one. So I have negative 6 times x, which I think is 5, plus 6 times y equals 6. I don't know what y is, but that's what we're going to find out. This is negative 30 plus 6y equals 6. I want to get my y's alone. I'm down to one variable, so I'm going to add 30 to both sides. These cancel out. I'm left with my 6y, and on the other side I have 36. I want to get y alone. So I'm going to do this, and y equals 5. So I think I have my total solution. I verified it in this equation. I'm going to try it in my second equation. So my second equation is negative 6x plus 3y equals negative 12. That's what it was before we tweaked it, right? And I'm going to try plugging in these two values, 5 and, oh, this should have been a 6. Sorry, guys. 36 divided by 6 is 6. So x is 5 and y is 6. We're going to plug that in and see what happens. So negative 6 times 5 plus 3 times 6 equals negative 12. This is negative 30 plus 18 equals negative 12. I have more negatives than positives. I have 12 more negatives, and that worked. Cha-ching. 5, 6 is your answer for number 4. Okay, number 5. 5x plus 4y equals negative 30. 3x minus 9y equals negative 18. No coefficients of 1, no isolated variables. We're going to use combination elimination. Now, in order for me to cancel out my x's, these are going to both have to be 15x, and one of them is going to have to be positive and one's going to be negative. In order to cancel out my y's, these are both going to have to be 36y, and one of them's already negative. So I'll just go with this one. Since one's negative already, the least common multiple of 4 and 9 is 36. So I need this to be 36, so I'm going to multiply everything times 9. And I need this to be negative 36, so I'm going to multiply everything times 4. And when I do my distributive property, I see that 45x plus 36y equals, this is negative 270. And 12x minus 36y, see this, exact opposites, equals negative 72. These cancel out completely, which is what I wanted. I have 57 x's, and these are all negatives, guys, so nobody's getting married. So if I combine those, I get 342 negatives. If I divide both sides by 57 to get my x isolated, x equals, I believe it's, yeah, it's negative 6. There's half of my solution. I'm going to plug it in to my first equation. I can plug it into either one because it should work in both of them. If x is negative 6, I'm going to get 5 times negative 6 plus 4y. I don't know what y is yet. That's what I'm trying to find out. Negative 30 plus 4y equals negative 30. I want y alone. I'm going to add 30 to both sides. 4y equals 0. Interesting. Divide by 4, y equals 0. Negative 6, comma 0. I'm just going to tell you right now, I verified that in both equations. I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to let you do it, and I expect you to do it. So in the interest of time, we're going to move on. Number 6, negative x minus 7y equals 14. Negative 4x minus 14y equals 28. None of my variables has a coefficient of 1. This one is negative 1, but that's kind of a pain. None of them is already isolated, so I'm going to combine. If I want to eliminate my x's, this is going to have to become positive 4x. If I want to eliminate my y's, this is going to have to become positive 14y. How about if we multiply the top equation? Let's get rid of our y's. So if I want this to be positive 14y, I'm going to have to multiply this by negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 7y will give us positive 14y to cancel out. So we're going to multiply by negative 2 every stinking term. So my new first equation is positive 2x plus 14y equals negative 28. And I'm going to bring this second equation down because I didn't change it at all. Negative 4x minus 14y equals 28. When I combine these, my y's cancel out. I have 2 extra negative x's. And over here, these cancel out and I get 0. That's interesting. Now, I'm going to divide both sides of my equation by negative 2 to get x isolated, get x alone. X equals 0 divided by 2 is 0. I have half my solution. I'm going to plug that back into either equation. My first equation was negative x minus 7y equals 14. If x is 0, then this is negative 0. Well, negative 0 is kind of a silly thing to say. 0 is 0. It's not positive or negative. So this is just 0. Minus 7y is 14. If I have a negative 7y and I combine it with absolutely nothing, that means I still have my negative 7y. To isolate y, I'm going to divide by negative 7 on both sides. Y equals negative 2. Now, I need to plug these into my second equation. I'm not going to because I already did this problem and I know it's right, but I would certainly expect you to.